everybody, I'm Griffin here, and welcome back. Well, sorry, not welcome back. Welcome to 7 Billion Humans. Ooh. We get to pick... this is me. That photo looks just like you. Oh, I'm just employee 1? Alright, so... if you remember when we played Human Resource Machine,
are you a hard-working farmer? Let machines do that for you.
Oh my.
Are you a hard-working coal miner, truck driver, or coffee shop employee? Let machines do that for you.
Well, actually...
It's called Tomorrow Cup.
Tastes like progress.
But aren't there any good jobs left for hardworking families like us?
You'll never need to work again. Machines have provided unlimited free energy, unlimited fast, clean transportation, unlimited free nutritious food.
This is gonna get dark.
You're completely free to do whatever you want. A marvelous modern utopia.
But we want good-paying jobs.
Okay, creating jobs.
You want jobs? You will have jobs. They will be the best jobs. Huge. Believe me, you have never seen so many jobs.
Where can we get these jobs?
Just show up on Monday. The machines have created enough jobs for every single person on the planet and the whole family to enjoy.
Oh my
I have
god.
a PhD in medieval French literature.
Even the most useless skills can be put to work in the new office building visible
Oh
from
man,
space.
shots fired.
Congratulations, all 7 billion humans on the planet. You're hired.
Alright, so... This is clearly in jest, but oh man, is that something to unpack. Oh, that's so good. There's an irony and sadness to the fact that, hey, we've made robots. You never have to work again. We still want to work. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that people would go crazy if they didn't have to do anything. But you never know. I think that's mostly just because of the way we are. But yeah, this is a puzzle game, just like Human Resource Machine. Except it has an interesting twist to it, and we'll get there. You're the boss of all these workers. They will do whatever you say, so let's see how fit the workforce is. So everyone pick up their cube and drop it again. So, as you can see, this all looks familiar, and the basic premise here is about the same, except one little thing. Actually, we don't need this. Oh, never mind, we do. So, they're going to step, they're going to pick up, they're going to drop. Problem solved. So, the big twist here is, of course, that instead... Oh, okay. Instead of programming one person like we did in Human Resource Machine, we're programming everybody. The instructions that we put down are going to act on every single person that's there. Move the entire line of data cubes down by 2. So, can we... Okay, we still can't pick up in a direction. So we step down, we pick up. We step down. We step down, and we drop. And now this is going to be executed by every single one. So the funny part is when we step, I can actually pick a specific person to watch. Now, okay, they do have different names. In this case, none of it matters. They're all acting exactly the same. But if I were to do something weird, like tell everybody to step right and then start stepping down, then, you know, somebody would run into this tree, and that's why all these different arrows are important. But as we can see, this worked flawlessly. It's simple. This is them introducing you to all the concepts. And eventually here they're going to get really challenging. I would like to to completely clear my mind, and also the room. All data cubes are supposed to be cleared away so I can concentrate. Workers, please pick up the data cube next to you and just keep walking until you exit the room through one of those convenient holes on the over the right side. What's at the bottom of those infinite holes? Yes, that's a very good question to think about while meditating. You got a new command, jump. No, your work will not actually jump in the air. This is not one of those games. Here's what tell you all about it. Alright, new command, jump. Use this command to jump to different lines in your the list of commands. So basically, step right, pick up, step right, and then of course here's our jump. We're familiar with this jump, and they're just gonna keep walking and walking until they all fall into the holes. Workers' comp trust exercise, that's disconcerting. I am an ocean, I am an autumn forest, I am a sunset, I am hungry. Anyone want to get lunch? Anyone? Alright. We're gonna be burning through these first couple puzzles really, really hard. So I'll ask yourselves a little question. Would you, if you prefer, an instant shrieking splattering doom, or going to a really fun office birthday party? When I have a new command to help you decide, everybody let's all take a look to our left and to our right. On one side you have a nice data cube illuminating the way toward the office party. On the other side you have eternal doom. Use your new if command to locate which side has the data cube and continue walking in that direction until you fall in a nice safe hole that will take you to the office party. Okay, so this is where the neatness of the puzzle comes in. So as we kind of discussed earlier, you know, we're controlling all of these people and they're each running the exact same set of commands, so we want them to behave correctly. This is where I really like the way that they've gone about this. Between Human Resource Machine and this one, you can really teach somebody how to code. So obviously this is going to be the hard part, but we can go if on the left side that is a data cube. Look at that. We can say step left, pick up, step left, and then we can repeat it. Now you've probably noticed while this is going, we've occasionally had this else showing up. This else is basically another if statement, but it's saying if the exact opposite. Or more explicitly, if not this. So in effect for us it's also if to the right is a data cube, but we don't actually have to do that else. We don't actually have to do that if. We can say else if step right, because we know that the code that we are given, the initial conditions that we are given here, is one of two things, either data cube to the left, data cube to the right. So if the data cube is not to the left, then it is clearly to the right. And this will work. Now here's where I'm actually going to step through. We're going to step once. So you notice we did this if, and these two people, this person and this person, are both here because the data cube was on their left. This person and this person are both down here, you see? Just like that. Because their data cube is on the right. They fell into that else. And then they're all going to step, pick up, step, and you'll see everyone's running the same way. And that's how that works. So this is all about doing that correct execution for everybody. I'm learning programming. In fact, I already solved this assignment for you. Well, sort of. The worker is supposed to go pick up that cube down below without falling into the holes, but something's wrong, so I'll allow you to fix it for me. Let's watch what happens together. Ah. He made what we would like to call a bad assumption. So here, so the worker is supposed to go pick up the cube, fix it. You'll only need one to change or add only one single command, but you're welcome to change more if you like. So what he's done here is coded a whole bunch of this. We've talked about hard coding things, and the fun part is that the only way this code would work again, if it worked, obviously it doesn't work just yet, but if it were to work, it would absolutely have to be the exact same conditions. Now, he sort of assumed that this block isn't going to be here. So, what we kind of do is we actually go, before you hit the program this button, okay, yeah, I know, I don't want to do that. I want to change this. Okay, done. So basically, we're going to walk this way until... how do I explain this? It's simple enough to explain, I just want to do it concisely. So we're taking these steps and we're reaching here. And then we're saying step this way. If this, what's below you is nothing, take another step. Basically, step that way until there's something and then step down. This will function just fine. That is the... Whoopsie, I made a mistake. Yes, yes. Okay, see, here's where debugging will be useful for us. Step that way. If that way is nothing, it should have jumped. Why didn't it jump? I'm actually very curious. What? Okay. We step that way. If below us is nothing, excuse me? This is bugged. What's wrong with this? If this is true, we take another step. Oh, I see. I made another mistake here. So here's the thing. Nothing means an empty spot. I literally need that to say a hole. That's my fault. There's not actually a bug involved here. It's just what it is specifying. So if below you is a hole, there is, it jumps. And take another step. There we go. There were actually 2 changes to make. I suppose there might have been another way to do it, but this place is a mess. The engineers left data all over the floor. These people have no appreciation for style. Alright, let's pick up all the data cubes and organize them into a nice line along the bottom row. Right between those useful arrows. But watch out for that infinite hole. What? How can you know where the data cubes are or where the infinite holes are? Well, it says here. Remember, your if will illuminate. Yeah, okay. So basically, we want to step down forever. I mean, that's basically what we want to do. This is the thing that is driving everything. That's actually not true. We actually want to say if below us is a hole, we want them to drop. That's our end condition. Because that means we've gotten here, below us is a hole, we want to drop our data cube. This assumes that we've picked up our data cube correctly, but I feel like that's a fair assumption because we'll have it happen. So you're going to step, you're going to say if r square is a data cube, pick up. That's it. Now, technically, this if can fall into the else here. And this can fall out of all of it. Actually, that's not true. This will cause them to die. I want to make this more efficient. Oh, we can pick up down. So if below you is a data cube, arguably we don't want this step to be here. So we can have an else step down. And then after all of that, this actually works better. This works much, much better. So the reason why this works over what we were doing before is because this jump needs to not be out of this else, because otherwise we're always going to do that. And we can't keep dropping. So we can go ahead and step here. So nobody had a data cube below them, so everybody steps. Nobody had a hole, so it jumps. Now, a couple people here, 3 of them to be exact, and you see all 3 of them right there. Ooh, I like that you can see which one's which. Now have something, they're going to pick it up. And we've got a couple other people who are kind of doing the same thing here. And funny enough, they all end up in line. So now we get to the bottom. If below you is a hole, drop. And that's that. Whoa, now you're living dangerously, really on the edge. Okay, I think we're going to get our metrics now.
Congratulations. You're doing great.
I cannot believe how great you're doing.
As your employee morale officers,
We are here to offer occasional tips on how to keep your workers feeling delighted.
for example,
Come on up, Jeff.
we find that workers appreciate an occasional confirmation of a job well done,
You might say, congratulations, you're doing great.
followed by a gentle but firm pat on the rear.
But avoid Jeff.
Oh no.
When I was his age, I was a refrigerator.
Good work, everyone.
You know how many salads wilted inside me?
With enough teamwork and engineering,
that's-
even a kitchen appliance can become a mid-level office manager.
We're not just building data solutions.
We're building a family.
Oh my. That's just interesting. We hit our next career milestone. Okay, so I believe that we're going to have metrics now. Oh, that was a good cup of coffee. Who wants to do something crazy? See that nice steady straight horizontal line of data cubes? Let's be wild and turn it into a diagonal line. This is really good. Leave that first data cube where it is and make that line descend like a staircase. Data is displayed at a 45-degree angle. Whoever heard of such thing? Alright, so we're going to start with picking up below us. And then stepping downward. So this puts us in our initial condition. We could also do this. It kind of doesn't matter. And that's where we want to loop. So we have to think about what condition all of these guys are going to be in. So we do know that step down is going to be something that's being jumped over. Now obviously there's going to be some conditions here that are going to be drop. So we've got an if and a drop. I presume an else jump here makes sense because when they drop it, they'll be done. So what condition are we going to run into that says, hey, drop it? And I think that the answer is if to the left of us is nothing. And the reason why I think that is because they're all going to be walking in a line together, except for when the person to their left drops what they're doing and doesn't keep walking. And you could also say a worker. But when it is nothing... So let's take a step here. And we'll go ahead and watch Leslie. So, everybody's picked up. Take step down. To her left, there is nothing. So she is going to drop. And then she's done. She's not going to do any more instructions. So let's look at Jay. He's just stepped down while Leslie was dropping. And now to his left is nothing. This worked out flawlessly. You did it. Oh no, what have we done? Ah, well. So we had a speed challenge here. Or we went back to basically the same thing. Speed and number of commands. Speed here is effectively number of commands run. Although, arguably, okay, number of seconds your program takes, on average, your solution must work more than 50% of the time to pass, green bars being success, red bars being failure. So, we don't have any failures, which is good. I'm going to guess here and say that every command takes the same amount of time. It's just they didn't do command executions like they did last time. So the question is, can we do this in less than 5? Well, we can do this and make it 6. This should work just fine. Alright, so we reduced this by 1. We didn't actually make it any faster. So the question is, how do we get one less step here? I think the answer is this else. Because the funny part is they're all going to fall behind. So, by dropping there, she's now behind everybody. Oh. That's interesting that that works. I don't like that that works. I'm going to go ahead and say that. I don't like that that works. But it did. And we passed both of them simultaneously. Oh, goody. We get to go back and do these. We'll do that, and then I think we'll call this the end of the episode. Okay, so what did we not do? I'm guessing it's this one. Yeah, we used 10 commands. Okay. So we have too many commands here. So how do we make this super efficient? So, if to the right is a data cube, else wasn't 5 the number that we needed? Oh, I failed anyway. Right, this isn't gonna work. I'm dumb. It only works the first time. So we need 5 commands. Oops, if to the left of you is a data cube. It doesn't actually matter how much we pick up. We don't need the else. We're still at 7 instructions here. So this should still work. Five or fewer commands. How can we do this? Oh yeah, by the way, we take hell long to do this. Because we lose time. You lose time when you can't do something, clearly. Interesting. Okay, so we need to make it so that there's only one pickup and one jump, and that's the correct answer. So how do we do that? See, now this is where being able to pick up to the left or right would be really, really nice. Or drop. Yeah, so we can't drop. If you could pick it up and then drop it, we could then keep checking this. But the thing is, we can't keep checking this. This is the problem. We have to get them to go in a specific direction and keep going in that specific direction without having an issue. And that's the hard part. Because checking for a data cube is actually a really bad idea. And actually, wait, this didn't even work. We need the else gone. They have to go into their own holes. I'm missing something. I'm missing a logical jump here, and I'm not sure where it is. This is one of those ones that I know I can figure out. I just haven't done it yet. Because ideally, we want to do this. Ideally, we want to do this. The problem is we can't. So here's what I'm thinking. No, we don't want to do that. There's a way. There's a way to do this, and I know there is. I'm just not thinking of it. Because we can't check a hole. This isn't gonna work, so. Yeah. We need this. How do we indicate that we want you to keep going in the same direction? See, this will just have them bouncing back and forth. Because we can't actually find a way for them to get. Each walk on their right or left side, walk through the cube and continue in that direction so you fall into a nice safe hole. Any other hole leads to instant doom. They just didn't want us to have to. Well, see, there is a drop command here, and that's the dumb part. Because the problem is that, like, the way that I'm thinking about doing this, that would be nice and clever, doesn't work because it'd be way too many commands. Because here's the problem. This jump is the problem. Trying to bring it down to one jump becomes a very difficult problem in that we no longer have a data cube to our left. Like, the first time through, this kind of works. Kind of. It doesn't actually work. need to think about this in a different way. I need to find a way for 5 commands and 1 if. And 1 if and 1 jump. What is this if? Is that the answer? So you can check if 2 different things are equal to each other. That doesn't work though. There's something about this that could be useful later. It's good to know it's there. Something, data cube, a worker, a hole, a wall. We can't check for walls. We can't check for holes. Because ideally it's this. This is already 4 commands, though. Crap, I'm stumped. I'm really stumped here. I know there's an answer, but I haven't yet been thinking in this programming language yet enough. This is basically like thinking in assembly. Because we can't just auto step. The first thing we do has to be check. We can't do a greater than or equal to. Can we? Ooh. No, that doesn't work. See, which direction... Which direction you're going just matters so much. I feel like I don't know a way to use this. There's an OR command that doesn't add anything. That's interesting. But I can't actually use this OR to my advantage. Because we have to find something that's unique about once they have the cube and are holding it. That's the tough bit. Once they have the cube and are holding it, you no longer know which way is supposed to be the way that they're supposed to go. Without dropping it again, which doesn't work. Like... Or maybe it does. Okay, I had a thought. I know I'm... Okay, so if to your left is a data cube, step left, pick up, step left, drop. That doesn't work. Shit. So I kind of want to go. Shit, we're so close. I want to know if this would work. Because my idea is that if you step left, No, that's never gonna work because you just keep picking it up and dropping it. Actually, no. Okay, nobody can pick anything up. Step left. Drop. Yeah, okay. Then those guys just bounce. Alright. Well, shit. The dropping could have worked. So we kind of have to assume that one of these directions is the correct way to go. So separate, pick up. This doesn't work because arguably this could be a problem. I think I'm just stumped by this one. 5 instructions is really, really low. Especially with ifs. So here's a thought. If okay, if you don't have a data cube, no, if you do have a data cube, you keep doing this. Damn, it's so close to working. No. So here's one of the things that caught me. The problem is it takes too many jumps. The idea would be assume that everybody's going right and then have a check for if there's a pit. So if to your right is a hole and your current location is not a data cube, you would want to step left. Oh, there's a way to do this. Using something like this, we might be able to make this work. Jesus, I've already taken like 15 minutes on this puzzle to try and get this optimization, because now I just want to know. So you want to step right and pick up. So this puts these guys in the loop again. Oh, wait. Okay, you can't say your current space is a data cube. Shit. Ah, the solution is here. It's here, it's close. I feel it. 5 instructions is just frickin' nothing. There has to be an if, and there has to be a jump. If we can avoid the else, that would be ridiculously ideal. herein lies the problem. We basically have to organize these. Because we have to have a pickup, and we have to have steps in either direction, and we have to have an if. But here's the problem. This if can't be specific enough. I can't think of a way to make this work. Like, these are all the things that have to be here. Oh, wait. They don't have to pick it up. They don't have to pick it up. They don't have to pick it up. Read it. Each worker has a data cube either on the left or right side. Walk toward that cube and continue walking. You don't have to... God damn it. Alright, this might be a lot more doable because I misunderstood the premise of the problem. Alright, so if to your left is a data cube... Oh gosh. Step left. Okay, there's still some tricky here. This is still tricky because we need like one extra. I want to see if this works. Okay, yeah, we got it, which means I know how to do it. And it's by getting these things out of the else. Which is more challenging than you would like it to be. God damn it, game. Alright, well, that's going to be it for this episode. We managed to get our optimizations done well under margins. And that is because I misunderstood the problem. And hey, that is actually a very, very good lesson. Because understanding your requirements is ridiculously important. Because if you provide the wrong thing, you are A, possibly delivering something that is absolutely wrong. In this case, I was trying to do something extra. Something extra that wasn't needed. Now, perhaps in the future that will be needed, but perhaps there is a very specific reason why we didn't want those numbers. They were really just indicators, and perhaps they'd be used for somebody in the future. Trying to liken this to an actual coded product is basically impossible, but the idea here is that those requirements, I had them wrong, and that is definitely a learning experience for everybody involved, because I made an assumption, which means that, you know, maybe when I'm getting stuck on a problem like this, I will in the future remember to look back and think about whether or not I have the right thing being done, not just done what I think needs to be done being done well. Because there was no way to pick that up and get to 5 instructions, because that was literally the extra instruction that I was getting stuck on. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you're enjoying this game thus far. We've got a pretty decent chunk left, I'm sure. We haven't even gotten to the whole extra puzzles, and let me look at that. We've got a lot to do, and that's good. I like that. That means that there is more content for me to make, more game for me to play, because the more time I have playing these games, the more fun I usually have. And also, more lessons on coding for you guys. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'll see you next time. And until then, keep your gears turning.